really good today, but thinking about yesterday. Well, that's what they say, a motivational quote of the day. You're not alone, although you may feel you are right now. It's complicated and so frustrating, so many faces going through their own journey. How did we get here? When will we leave here now? It's fading away, no motivation, no inspiration now. It's fading away. I don't wanna stay here, I'm ready to take on the world. I wanna live, give me strength to forgive and move on. Fading away, no motivation, no inspiration now. It's fading away. No, we're fading away, no motivation, no inspiration now. We're fading away. I don't wanna stay here, I'm ready to take on the world. I wanna live, give me strength to forgive and move on. I don't wanna stay here, I'm ready to take on the world. I wanna live, give me strength to forgive and move on, and move on, and move on, and move on.
One thing that I think is really important in mental health recovery is to have somebody who knows what it's like to suffer from stigma that's out there with mental health problems, and also some realism. So I've been in the system for 12 years. It's been a really long journey from literally feeling like I don't exist in society, that I've got nothing to offer, that nobody would want to hang out with me, or that I couldn't contribute in any way possible because of how ill I've been in the past. And one thing that I would really like to encourage and inspire my peers that I will hopefully be working with is something that I have found over the years through the different phases of recovery, that I am worth something, that I can contribute to society, that I am enough as I am. I'm taking the whole world on in one go, and sometimes you just need to focus on it's okay, I'm doing the best that I can, I've got a good team around me, whether that's obviously family or friends in your care team or spiritual support networks, but sometimes even that's not enough. And I have found personally that throughout my recovery journey, the one invaluable thing that I have found really translated to me and helped me to have that epiphany moment was speaking to somebody who was further down their recovery journey, who had been where I have been with their certain symptoms that they were struggling with mental health wise. And personal testimony, you can't rate it enough. It's the most invaluable thing that I think can help a person today who's suffering with mental illness, no matter what diagnosis they have. There's always that stigma that's there. There's always that, can I do this? Can I do this on my own? But I don't add up like A, B, C, D, E, all those other patients. You can presume sometimes in your head that everybody else has got it sorted when really they haven't. So the best thing to do is to just be honest, but make sure that it's therapeutic. We don't want to be triggering anybody, but we want to make things as real as possible so that people can relate, so that my peers can relate, be encouraged, be inspired, that even I still now can have really, really difficult days. So it's about sharing universal tools that can help anybody, no matter what the mental health condition, but me personally, I've struggled with my emotional regulation symptoms due to my borderline personality disorder, and also I've had to learn distracting techniques with psychotic symptoms that I can get. So I think that it's really helpful for obviously my peers to listen to my experiences. I've spent 3 years within the early intervention team when I was in Derby services, and I've lived in hospitals for literally 5 years of my life, if you add up all the 9-month and 3-month multiple sections that I've been on, and I lived in an adult care home for 2 years as well. So there's literally not a resource that I really haven't used. So there's not much that can shock me anymore, and I found also that's helpful when I've spoke to my peers in the past, is that an honest approach but also a therapeutically positive approach is best, and that's something that I'm hoping, if I do get the job as peer support worker, that my supervisors will be helping to train me with certain boundaries, not just boundaries within, obviously I'd be an employee and I'd be working with a service user, but also then therapeutic boundaries. What is the therapeutic level to share, what isn't, what might not be too helpful. And I've also learned quite a lot of that anyway over the years with volunteering work that I did for a charity called North Staff's Voice, or it was also called North Staff's Users Group back then, and also bits of work that I've done with Rethink Mental Illness as well. So I've done a lot of campaigning on the radio and social media, newspapers, through my music work, talking face to face at gigs and everything. So over the years, since 2016, I've been active doing a lot of volunteering work, so I've kind of learned over the years what can be helpful, what cannot be helpful. So any additional training is obviously going to be really great for me to obviously make sure that I do the best that I can do, and obviously to help me get the best out of my peers that I'll be working with. Purpose. Where would we be without purpose in our lives? It's one of those big life questions. So especially in mental health recovery, I have found personally over the years that mine has come through my music, and that was just a personal thing that I used to do. Nobody used to see or listen to my songs. I found that it naturally became a healthy way for me to express how I was feeling. It used to help me get over my self-harming issues that I used to have, or any form of frustration or loneliness, or just with the stigma. I could just get it all out on the paper. I used to be very sporty as well. I still love to do sports when I can. I love walking with my dog. I love walking around the lake at Trenton Gardens. I love playing badminton when I can go and play badminton. I like table tennis. I love basketball. I also like swimming. I used to cycle a lot too, but I sold my bike about a year ago, so I haven't done any of that for a while. But I love loads of different sports. So that was another way how I could get out frustration, or if I was really struggling with self-harm, intrusive thoughts. I used to just love, let's go do some basketball, or let's go play some football, or let's just bash a shuttlecock like playing badminton, or pool even. I found that really exhilarating. Like, the thing is, sport can be such an instrumental tool for mental health, and obviously the whole healthy body and healthy mind. And I feel like we underestimate a lot of the impact that physical exercise can have. Creativity is also an amazing part that I found through my music. I find it really expressive, and it's a physical thing to like play my guitar or bash some beats out on the drums, or even singing, because sometimes people feel like, oh, I want to scream everything that's in my head, and people underestimate the power of like our vocal cords. They're a muscle, and you could just like sing a song and just sing your heart out. So yeah, there's just loads of different things that I found personally really therapeutic, and I can't wait to pass on some of these skills and techniques that I've got with my peers. Especially, I read in the job description about the keen interest with doing the sports as well. But I found personally that music, that can be such a physical release as well. One thing that I would like to encourage my peers, if they say, I don't know a purpose, I haven't got a purpose, I don't enjoy doing anything, I've got to that stage, well, I can be like, I can relate there, because even though I'm a musician, I twice in my life have unexpectedly thought that, where's my music disappeared to? So when my depression's been so bad and anxiety's been so bad over the years, I never thought that music would be the one thing that could get rocked. I always thought it's certain, it's always going to be there. So the one thing that I've learned is it's really important to have loads of things in your toolboxes, and when one thing goes flat, it's an opportunity to go out there, try new things. And there's a lot of things that I have done over the years that I would have thought I wouldn't have enjoyed or anything. So for example, even though I'm a musician, I love writing songs, I love playing my guitar, I love to sing, I was never creative in any way in regards to wanting to make any lyric videos or artwork or that kind of thing. And one thing that helped to get me back months and months ago when I was really struggling with my music was, okay, what's something else that I can learn, a new skill? And I used to just like dabble, let's have a go at making a lyric video. So because I was doing that and creating some artwork, it opened up a new area of creativity in my mind. Getting out there, connecting with nature as well was also another way that could help to inspire me to reconnect with my music. So one thing I'd like to say to my peers is, it's okay if you feel like I'm really in a dark place, I don't know what my purpose is yet. Well, let's do things to try and find your purpose. And one of the other really important factors that I find is you need a structure as well. So it's not just always enough to have a family. Some people don't have family or friends, but if you've got a family, friends, a care team from the NHS, from charities, or even church and stuff like that, it can be very difficult sometimes if you've not got a structure. And everyone needs a structure, even people that have got really healthy mental health. You all need a structure to get through. And I feel like now, due to COVID-19 restrictions, people that haven't had any pre-existing problematic mental health problems before are now finding that structure in their life, they haven't got it anymore, because a lot of people can't go to work. Those that can work have to come straight home. A lot of people would have a structure, whether they go out with friends, they might go to a coffee shop or go to the gym, or there's loads of things that people would normally be doing, and we can't do them things anymore. So it's a new opportunity to start embracing new skills. Let's open up that toolbox. And so one thing I think is really important is we can get that structure in there, and then through getting that structure we can help start finding our purpose through all the different activities and interests that we can find. And who knows, like I didn't realise that 12 years ago I would now be an award-winning songwriter signed to a record label with permanent management and working with a world-renowned producer who's worked with Robbie Williams and Elton John. So never give up on your dreams is what I would say to my peers, is it's just step by step. And some of my goals within my structure many years ago was the first time I was like, oh okay, I need to wake up, and my structure was I really need to encourage myself to brush my teeth, to get dressed, to have a wash, to just even step out the door and walk down the street or go into a coffee shop and get on a bus. All those kinds of things were impossible, literally impossible to do, and it took many months to even be able to do them basic things that we can all take for granted in our lives. And through having a support worker, that enabled me to progress. And then the more you progress with the small things and with the structure, and then you find your purpose, suddenly you'll find that purpose and something you enjoy doing with an activity. And then you want to get up, and suddenly you're like, oh, I want to get up, I feel good about myself, I want to brush my teeth, I want to get dressed, I want to get out the door, I want to jump on that bus. And all of a sudden, all of the things just interlink with each other, but it comes with time, and it also comes with patience and resources, and somebody that knows how hard it is to just do the very small basic things in life that we all can take for granted. Another thing is, we all know how fast that 1 hour can be taken up with your care coordinator or CPM, or when you're with your family and they're trying to tick everything off the list, where they want to just make sure you've got a food shop in or tidy around, or they want to have a conversation with you. So sometimes it's really important that you have that downtime with somebody who really knows what it feels like, who you can trust, who you can be encouraged by, who's been where you are but also is in a better place now in their recovery, where they can say, hey Luke, I really struggle with that, and I know how it feels, and we all go at our own pace. Nobody's recovery journey is the same. So the one thing that I would love to encourage my fellow peers is to be honest about my recovery journey, make sure that it's always positive and encouraging and therapeutic and safe. We never want to trigger anybody at all, but I found personally that when I've spoken to people who've been where I was, and then it's really given me that hope that I've got a real life person here. It's a real testimony. It's not somebody who's just sitting there in a textbook and it's a statistic. Oh, this many people will get well by this time, or this many people won't survive at all and might not even be alive in so many years' time. So it's really important that no matter how many professionals that people speak to and how many years they've done a degree for, that somebody who's actually been there, lived through the mental illness, they know what they're talking about. I just really hope that I can be a breath of fresh air in the NHS and help with this revolution of new peer support workers to help take mental health recovery to the max.
Oh,